Hi and welcome. I'm Katie Smith, and it is such an honor and a joy for me to get to spend time with you. Today, we're talking about career options, not just options, but how to use LinkedIn as a tool to increase our career options. And joining me in just a minute is a special guest, Mike Tomasello, career coach. He's going to be talking to me from Los Angeles, which is really cool. I'm in East Tennessee, and if you don't know me yet, it is such a pleasure and a joy to be with you. My background is in media, education, and nonprofit work, and I have pivoted along with so many people in 2020. I now have a coaching business and boutique helping people get what they want most in health, wealth, faith, and love. So joining me now is Mike Tomasello. Let me tell you a little about him. The original shark, Kevin Harrington, from TV's Shark Tank, called Mike Tomasello a top career thought leader. Despite being the first generation in his family to graduate from college, he's gone on to lead startup and Fortune 100 teams with $1 billion in strategy responsibility. He's spent over 24 years interviewing thousands of successful senior executives to research career success, from job search to promotions to being more fulfilled in your career. Mike grew up in a small town on the Illinois-Wisconsin border and became a first-generation college graduate despite a physical disability that caused him to fall asleep in class. Despite being discouraged by many from his ambitious goals, Mike eventually became a successful nonprofit executive, million-dollar salesperson, and eventually a worldwide corporate marketing leader with $1 billion in strategy responsibility at the Fortune 100 level when everyone said he couldn't do it. He currently lives in LA and still enjoys traveling the US and internationally to spread his mission of helping people be more fulfilled and successful in their work life. And now, without further ado, Mike Tomasello. Well, I'm so excited to be with you, Mike, because, when I was thinking, what's new for 2021? What do I need to be working on? The first thing that came to mind is finances. Everybody needs to be thinking about their finances. And while I've been enjoying being an entrepreneur, I had an opportunity come up to re-examine and look at a corporate opportunity. And maybe like so many people, I joined LinkedIn back in 2008. That was 13 years ago, Mike. Wow, a lot has changed since 2008. And while I've updated my resume every, 3 or 4 years, it's not something that I stay on top of. And the first person I thought of when I'm thinking, okay, how do I put my best foot forward in 2021 with a new financial opportunity, possibly working in corporate, is I wanted to talk to Mike Tomasello because that is his jam. That is his specialty. So Mike, thank you so much for joining me. What should we be doing in 2021 to stand out and move forward in the corporate world?
Well, so many things. And one of the topics that you expressed in learning more about from me is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is both simple and complicated at the same time. So there's a lot of dichotomies going around. So the complicated part is people are using LinkedIn for different reasons. And you need to make sure that you're getting your advice from LinkedIn from people that have the same goals and objectives that you do. So if you're looking for a corporate career, if you're looking to make moves in your corporate career, you need to be careful about what LinkedIn gurus you're listening to. Because if you're listening to a LinkedIn guru who's more entrepreneurship or sales focused, your LinkedIn profile is not going to end up in the right place. And also vice versa. So there's a couple different ways to go about it. The most important thing is you have to have a profile filled out, right? So there's been some confusion out there. Some people sometimes think less is more, except when it comes to your LinkedIn profile. So with your LinkedIn profile, you really want to have it completely filled out, because otherwise, when it comes to the search feature of LinkedIn, which far more people use that feature, especially when they're looking for someone for a corporate role than you could possibly imagine. And if your profile is not completely filled out, if you don't have all the right keywords, you might not even come up in someone's search at all.
Yeah, that is such a great point. And I want to encourage everybody to take notes. I'll be taking notes and I'll be posting notes, but I do want to make a note of that. Like, okay, so keywords are super important. We know that. But the part about less is more, that's really good. So it's easy to think a little updating here or there is enough. How do we know when enough is enough, or what is something else we should be looking at?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. So one thing LinkedIn makes fairly easy, but a lot of people have been ignoring it, is LinkedIn has a little meter in the upper right-hand corner that tells you, hey, you have 50% of your profile filled out, 90% or whatever. LinkedIn wants you to have all the sections filled out. If you don't, they are going to assume that your profile is not as good and they're going to show it to less people. So
Okay.
make sure you have at least a little bit of information in every single one of those sections. The other part is, especially if you have a resume, I recommend everything that's on your resume should be on your LinkedIn profile somewhere. So some people will just list the places where they used to work, but they won't have any bullet points. They won't have any information about what they accomplished there, or they won't have any information about what sort of duties they held there. That stuff is super critical, because if you don't pique people's interest with what you can actually do for their organization, what value you bring, they're not going to reach out to you for more information. Doesn't matter if it's for your business or for a role.
And I would say this is where having someone like you in their corner can be really helpful, because I've worked for a number of different organizations, and in nonprofit, in education, in media, I've been all over the place. And so for someone like me, I need someone like you to help me know what those bullet points are. So is that something that you do? I know you're a career coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I help people do is I help people understand the goal that they're going after, and really getting understanding of, all right, well, if that's your goal, then who is your target audience? Everything career related comes down to your target audience. Doesn't matter if you're a business owner, a wannabe business owner, or a corporate employee. So for example, on the corporate employee side, your target audience is going to be the person who's most likely to be your boss in the future. So you need to understand what they care about. You're going to need to understand what their needs are. So I teach people how to do the research, how to go out and learn from those people so they're clear what are the things you really need to be emphasizing. Because you might be good at 20 or 30 different things, Katie, but in reality, the person that's going to hire you, they probably care about 3 to 5 of those. So if you're talking about wrong stuff, you're not going to resonate with them that much. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's great. And so one of the things I know about you is that you are excellent at taking somebody from like a high level manager to like VP position. So how would somebody need to be looking at their resume to do that?
Yeah,
Or not necessarily resume.
so that's a little bit more complicated. That's not something that most people can do that easily. That is usually a process. However, one of my clients did go from manager to vice president in 6 months. Kind of amazing.
That's amazing.
It goes way beyond just LinkedIn and resume. It really comes down to taking on the right duties and responsibilities and volunteering for the right stuff, building relationships. However, from a resume or a LinkedIn perspective, what we're looking to do is, well, we're looking to say, hey, how can we communicate scope? How can we communicate scale? Because we don't want, everybody thinks that someone's going to take a chance on us. And oh, if someone would just give me a chance, I could get promoted. But most business decisions, most hiring decisions, most promotion decisions aren't made that way. They're saying, hey, is Katie, is John, is Susan, are they operating at a VP level already? Are they operating at that next level already? And so learning how to communicate that, whether it be volunteering to mentor more people, even if you're not officially managing people, can you volunteer for higher visibility projects at where you work or even outside of work, so that you can say you led project teams of dozens and dozens of people or hundreds of people? Those things are going to help communicate that you're ready now, even if you did it for less than 5% of your job.
That's awesome. That is so fun. So my little internal wheels are just spinning, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way. So if you're having questions and stuff like that, I definitely want you to reach out to Mike. Mike, what's one more thing that we could do? I know that I'm sure you could write books on this. In fact, you have an event coming up. What's the event that you're doing? Tell me again.
Yeah, so I am actually launching a program for job searchers in the following week. It is the most innovative job search program that I've ever created, that I've ever seen in the market. It's called Job Offer Success Secrets. And I am going to take you from A to Z, everything that you need to know, from resumes to LinkedIn to interviewing to get more interviews, all the way to nailing the final round of interviews and then negotiating your salary. It's all one program. It's going to be spread out over 2 months so that you're not overwhelmed, and you're going to be able to get high-level coaching for a fraction of the price. So that's going to be launching next week. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that is so cool. That sounds amazing. I know for us, like right now we're doing the Money Breakthrough group. It's free on Facebook. The whole thing is, what have we done that doesn't work? And now let's get rid of that and let's do what does work in 2021. So we're doing a deep dive Monday through Thursday in that group for that. But what you're offering is completely different. But this, I mean, it fits perfectly with what I've been doing. So trying to, just offer incredible value and support for people, but then moving to your program. So tell me more about your program. Is it like Monday through Thursday, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways to potentially work with me. One, if you really want to go deep and you really want to be a master, if you really want to invest in yourself so that you can get the $60,000 raises, so that you can get $20,000 more with your next job offer, then you can invest in the Job Offer Success Secrets program. If you're not quite ready for that, and I would encourage you to do the second option no matter where you're at. I love helping for people for free. I do that coaching through my free Facebook group. It's called Career Success Secrets. And it's just facebook.com/groups/career success secrets now. So regardless of where you're at, if you just want to, ask some basic questions and sort of get a feel for things, that's a great way to dip your toe in the water and get to know me and my stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I don't mean that. Usually we talk about that at the end, but I'm thinking people need to work with you just from what you've shared. They're already thinking, how can I work with Mike? So is there one more tip or strategy that you would give us as searching for a corporate position that related to LinkedIn? I know that there are different ways to share articles. Like that's a great thing to do, add value while you're on the platform, stuff like that. But what do I not know about adding value on the platform?
So
that's easily overlooked.
So adding value and what to do are kind of two dramatically different things. But one important thing that is super overlooked is you need to be connected to everybody you know. So LinkedIn is a different type of social media. It's not the same as Facebook. It's not the same as Instagram. And so if you're using it thinking a whole bunch of strangers are going to find you, you're going to struggle at first, especially if you're doing it from a corporate career perspective. If you're building a more long-term business and you want to do some blogging and posting on there to build up your credibility, you can absolutely do that. But it's going to go way faster depending on the number of connections you have. So you need to be connected to every single person you know. I'm connected to people that I was friends with in high school. I'm connected with people that I was classmates with in undergrad. And even though I consider myself a really young guy, it's kind of, in the past. And there's people much younger than me that are like, why would I connect to someone? You should be connected to your aunts in Boise. You should be connected to your Omaha, even if they're not in your industry, because LinkedIn favors that in the algorithm. And you can't see everyone on the platform. You can only see people within certain degrees of yourself. So if there are people that you never know who your network knows, and that's the things LinkedIn can do for you that all of the other social media platforms can't. They can help you identify who my sister in San Francisco knows, even though she's completely not in my industry or not my typical target type. She's going to know tons of people that are. And so that aunt or uncle or old friend that you haven't talked to in years, they know someone that can be of value to you. And so if you're not getting those connections in place, you're really missing out on the power of the platform.
That is so good, because I've been in the world of Facebook and just trying to master one way to connect with people, which is great in under certain circumstances, but really forgetting that and not using LinkedIn to connect with other people. So thank you for reminding me about that. Okay. Are you taking notes, everybody? We need to do this. So I'm so thankful that you were able to come on today, Mike. You're helping me kick off just a value-driven number of interviews that I'm going to be doing. So you are numero uno. I'm so honored.
Oh,
thank you
exciting.
for taking the time. Yeah. Thanks for
My
coming
pleasure.
on. And I wish you all the best. And I'll be sharing those links, and just pray blessings and abundance on your 2021. Thanks again.
Thanks so much, Katie.
All right. See you next time.